These are the entities which can be transported to the sun, the moon, Mars, Jupiter, anywhere in this solar system. And all you will do, you will close your eyes and you'll find yourself there. Latifa Nafs. We are reading from the American Sufi Master, Robert Frege. And to be honest with you, like I always mention to you, I have read many books on Sufism. But this guy, Robert Frege, the things that he has mentioned in his book, they are very close to reality. Not all of it, but many points are exactly the same as we every day explain to you. And it is an utter astonishment to my understanding. The way he came up with such explanation is wonderful. I would like you to taste everything from different cultures, from different versions of Sufism, from different masters, so that you can have a fair amount of idea what you have in comparison to what others have. So he said, what drives the ego? There are two answers. One is self-survival. The ego is afraid of deep mystical experience and transformation. Because from its point of view, that kind of major change is death. The Nafs Ammarah is not capable of faith in God. What it practically means is, when you are in possession of Nafs Ammarah, no matter how hard you try, and no matter how hard you worship, Nafs Ammarah will not let you believe in God internally. If you're a religious man and yet you are in possession of Nafs Ammarah, all your religiosity is merely a display, a showcase of your inner desires, nothing else. So Nafs Ammarah is not capable of faith in God. It is totally materialistic. It does not believe in anything but itself. The ego fears that it isn't going to survive spiritual transformation. Therefore, it tries its best to keep you away from spiritual transformation. Because if you are spiritually transformed, the first thing which will happen, it will happen to the nafs. Nafs will lose its stronghold in you, and a new attribute will be added to the features of your nafs, which will be repenting, blameworthiness. The moment divine energy new is introduced to your Latifa Nafs, Nafs Ammarah, it will begin to change. And what initial change will come about is the awareness of your wrongdoing. You see, when some people do wrong things and yet they do not have this remorse that they have done anything wrong, people like you and I wonder, they don't understand what they're doing? And the answer is yes, they don't understand what they're doing. And it's a curse. If you want to change somebody, that somebody will not change by listening to your lectures. It is not going to change in performance of any worship. Let me give you an example. If you have a fatty liver, you need medicine. If you say, no, I will worship and God will be benevolent upon me and it will be healed, that is not going to happen, because this is your own concoction. Nothing such was said by God. Similarly, nafs will change its state only when divine energy is offered. And it should be offered to your nafs under guardianship of a Sufi master who has this ability to make a line around your latifa nafs in order to bar its diet coming to it. And when it is hungry and jumping up and down out of hunger, then your Sufi master will offer divine light. At this stage, some of the nafs are so stubborn, they refuse to take divine energy and they choose to die. Let them die. You will not die because your nafs died. But some others who are not very stubborn take divine energy as their food. And when divine energy enters the nafs, the state of nafs changes. From Ammarah, it changes into Lawwama. I need to explain here that according to a lot of Sufi masters, it is only a state. But here I would like to add something. It's not just a state. There are faculties of nafs within nafs. It is not just the state that changes. It is yet another body of nafs that pops up. So this is Ammarah. When a human being is born, the Prophet of Islam said, a shaitan jinn is born with him. And that shaitan jinn is your nafs. So it is Ammarah. Without any spiritual Sufi master working on it, it doesn't change. And the Prophet of Islam said, Man la shaykha lahu, la deena lahu. One who doesn't have a proper shaykh, he is on no religion. So it is the Sufi master who will work on your latifa nafs. But at the same time, you should bear in mind, there are many pseudo-claimants of being a Sufi master, and a majority of people pledge allegiance at their hands. So those, if they suppose they have already a sheikh, and their sheikh must have done it for them, they should not really rely on a sheikh until the sheikh has practically implanted the mystical formula, the name of God, in the beating system of the heart. In other words, he has awakened our heart and revived our heart with remembrance of God. And as a result of this reawakening of the heart is now able to involuntarily repeat God's name, vibrate with God's name. The Prophet of Islam said, a true Sufi master gives life and gives death. What does it mean? It means the true Sufi master will give life to your heart. The heart will be revived and will give death to Nafs Ammarah. What happens now? The heart has been activated, and there is a constant commemoration of God's name inside the heart. And the heart is now constantly producing divine energy. And that divine energy, which is accumulated in the heart, mingles in the bloodstream and reaches out to every single nook and cranny in our body, everywhere in our body. So the heart is now illumined and bright like a sun. After the activation, it's illumined. If this room is all dark, there is no light, and there are 7 chairs in this room. One chair is here at the front, and then 5 chairs in the middle, and then there is 1 chair in the back. And then one chair is called heart, and it's enlightened, and there is little light there. When it's too dark, even a little beam of light appears to be very prominent. Those who live in cities, it's very hard for them to spot any stars in the sky. But if you travel to countryside, you see the stars are so clear. Why is that? Because in the cities, there are street lights, so many bulbs are lit up. So a lot of light is going towards the sky. So which makes it very hard for you to spot any star, shining star. But when it is too dark, and in countryside, in the field, there is no light there. So it's completely dark. And when it's completely dark, the stars become more prominent. In a similar way, in your body, just suppose there are 7 chairs and one chair is glowing. That chair will be prominent. So when the heart becomes lit up, the divine energy, the divine light travels through your nafs, going across it. Okay, how does the nafs feel when the divine light goes across it? Same way, when you are wounded in your leg and somebody want to touch it and you feel pain, extreme pain. So that is what happens when the heart is enlightened and the heart is producing divine energy. Divine energy means nur. So the heart is now producing divine energy because the heart is lit up and the light is not contained within the bulb. It goes out. In a similar way, the light from the heart goes out in all corners. And when it touches Nafs Ammarah becomes really upset. Only God knows how. Maybe I can use this word here. It realizes intuitively that something is wrong. Why? Well, you've been going to a mosque all his life. This divine energy never entered him. He's been doing all the good works for many, many years, but this divine light never entered into him. Now, as the divine light has made its way across me, something is really fishy. Something is dubious. So, after the activation of the heart, the nafs starts to behave in a very strange way. You must have noticed. Because his worst fears are coming true. Because now the nafs is going to start battle of his lifetime. A battle of survival. When you are fighting a battle for your survival, you want to leave no stone unturned. You want to make sure that you come out as a winner, victorious. And then when these lights are going across it, makes Latifa Nafs Ammarah very painful, very, very painful. You won't feel the pain physically, but you will see a change in your emotions. You'll feel something is weird. How? For example, you like biryani. You love biryani. If you love biryani, now the changes will be, you take 1 spoon and you like it. But towards the end, no, it's not the same taste. No, biryani is not good. Somebody messed it up. Let's try some other restaurant. You go there and biryani doesn't taste the same. You will start to lose your taste of things that your nafs loves the most. You go home, you hug your wife. Okay, let's go to the bedroom. All right, yeah, let's go. But you don't enjoy it the way you used to. No. And then people start complaining. What on earth is wrong with you? Why are you behaving that way? Are you becoming a hermit? What's wrong with you? You used to do this, you used to do that, but now you show no interest in nothing. What happened to you? What has got into you? So that's when you feel something is changing. And then comes the Sufi master. What does the Sufi master do? Actually, what happens is when you eat food, when you sin from food and from sin, nar, which is diet to your latifa nafs, it receives nar from food and your wrongdoings. And this is what latifa nafs lives on. It is its diet. Now, in order to purify it, the idea is to cut off its diet. Like now for 16 hours, you're not allowed during the day to consume any food or to drink. Why? So that for 16 hours there is no diet of nafs is available to your nafs and it becomes weak. So then Murshid Kamil will make a circle, arrest it. Your nafs is arrested by Murshid Kamil. At this stage, when you eat, the heat of food or heat of the sin will not enter into your nafs because there is a circle. Now, latifa nafs is hungry and there is no food. And then the Sufi master offers nur, divine energy, as food to nafs. And now nafs knows there is no way I will get food, so for the heck of survival, just to survive, he accepts it and he takes it. And he starts taking nur. And after a few days or so, what happens is, with that nur, yet another body of nafs comes out. This base unit is still there. This comes out. And this is called blaming self. Nafs-e lawwama. Now, this nafs will ask you to do bad. It is still very strong. This will ask you to do bad. And when you have done bad, this will make you feel guilty. It will make you feel guilty and it will make you repent and it will make you regret. Because I used to think, why nafs lawwama make you feel guilty afterwards? Not before. Then I found out you are inclined to sinning under pressure of this nafs, which is nafs Ammarah. But now you also have this one come out of this. So after you have done things wrong, it will make you feel regret. And then with passage of time, yet another body of nafs will come out. This is lawwama. And this is mulhima, inspired self. Did you notice? This came out from here, and then this came out from here. Now it must be very weak. But when this third one comes out, the inspired self, what happens is, now, for example, if you are in possession of the inspired self, nafs-e mulhima, and this base unit, nafs-e Ammarah, is asking you to do wrong things, you will want to do wrong things. But your Sufi master will send messages to the inspired self. Don't do it. It will ask you to do wrong, and this will be dictated by the Sufi master not to do anything bad. And this is when you stop sinning. Now, the moment he finds out, see, I'm destroyed now, even if I try hardest and convince him to do wrong, and he is about to do wrong, his Sufi master will intercept, interfere, and will send messages. So this is when he feels helpless. When he feels helpless, then he calls upon his murshid, which is Iblis, And this is a very, very critical stage, nafs mulhima. Because, the possibility of these sins is very slim now. Even if you're intending to sin, but there comes the inspiration from your Sufi master, and the Sufi master will stop you. This is the time when you are in possession of the inspired soul. This is the time when the devil will come for the final episode. This will be your Armageddon. What will happen then? Nafs Ammarah will call upon his master, which of course is Iblis, the devil, and the devil will come for his help, and the devil will not insist on you sinning. Rather, he will plot against you, in which your spiritual attachment with your Sufi master is affected. Your relation with your Sufi master is destroyed. This is when the devil will make you see things which do not even exist. And in this period of time, your total reliance should be on your Sufi master. Why? When you and I are born, is it a miracle of our mother and father? God's miracle, isn't it? And in the womb of the mother, the baby is hooked up with a tube. And the mark of the belly button is the same place where the tube is hooked up. Inside the womb of the mother, if the tube is detached from the baby will not progress anymore. The baby will be a stillborn. This is how important the connection between the mother and the baby is. Same goes with the spiritual master. The baby is hooked up with the tube, and that tube goes through the belly button. And a disciple is hooked up in the heart, and that tube of divine light connects him with the Sufi master. Now, devil wants to detach you from your Sufi master spiritually. And it will happen when that tube, when that wire, which is the main supply of divine energy coming into your heart from the heart of your Sufi master, devil wants to disconnect that connection. Once that connection is disconnected, you're gone. Your spirituality runs on divine energy, comes to you from your Sufi master. Your heart, your souls are not capable enough to make the amount of divine energy needed in your spiritual growth. This is the most dangerous point in spirituality. You're only one step away from being a saint of God. Only one step away. This is when you must be tested. Now, I know this not just because of my experiences. I read it in the books. I heard it from Sarkar. But I didn't have the slightest idea how cruel that period will be or can be until I found myself in that situation. And during this period of time, one feels like he wasn't alive, he was dead. So this is the most dangerous period. And after this stage, then when God is finally pleased with you, then tajalliyat ilahi, the theophanies of God, it starts to fall upon your heart. Now when God is pleased, this is your heart and this is your nafs, lower self. After the test, when God is pleased with you, theophanies of God divine lights start to fall. These are called tajalliyat ilahi, theophanies of God. So when the theophanies of God start to fall upon the heart turns to shaheed. Shaheed means witnessing heart, because it's able to witness God's light, divine light, not the light which is produced by God's name. This light is different. This is coming from the ancient body of God. So this becomes witnessing heart, the heart that has witnessed God. And then at the same time, when the heart comes under the before of theophanies of God, Nafs also comes under the sight of God. And this is when Nafs from the inspired soul turns to contented Nafs. Nafs se Mutmaina. Now at this stage, see, remember I told you this is the base unit of Nafs, and then another body comes out, this is Lawwama, then one more comes out, this is Mulhima, and then this one. 4. They're all transformed into you. Now they look like you, all 4 of them. Their body is like your body. They come out, they can sleep at home and send somebody, one of them here. Maybe he's teaching and his body is somewhere else, but who knows? These are the entities which can be transported to the sun, the moon, Mars, Jupiter, anywhere in this solar system. And all you will do, you will close your eyes and you'll find yourself there. Latifa Nafs.
TV, bringing light, love, and peace in your life.